Thank you so much for checking out Tea and a Butty on YouTube. For exclusive content, please consider becoming a patron. Details are in the link of this video's description, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.
Hello, and welcome back to Tea and a Butty Podcast. I'm Erica.
And I'm Dominic.
And today we are going to do something a little bit different.
A little bit different.
We're going to play a little game.
A little game? What little game are we
You're just
gonna... A little game? Really?
Okay.
What game would that be?
Well, I saw this thing a while ago now. It's been, we've had this in the works for a little while.
Oh,
We've had it on the
back burner.
Yeah, in the plans to record.
In the pipeline.
So I saw this a little while ago on Facebook. I don't know if this is a thing that's going around.
It's a trendy thing. We're on top of the trends, okay?
I don't know how trendy it is.
It's like spending 24 hours in the bedroom and whatever, you know.
24 hours in my closet.
In my closet.
24 hours in our car.
Yeah. Van life restoration, yeah.
Anyway, I saw this thing on Facebook a little while back, and it was just like a little... just fun game. You know how these things go around, particularly on Facebook.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like 5 celebrities I've met in real life. Only 4 of them are true, and you have to guess which one is the lie. So isn't there's some game like that, isn't there? Like a game show?
It's like, 2 truths and a lie.
Something
I think.
like
Something
that.
like that. Yeah, it's like one of those games. 2 truths and a lie. Yeah. Oh, what's it? Yeah.
Isn't there something called like Lie to Me or
Would I Lie to You?
Would I Lie to You?
That's a panel show in Britain. Yeah. I think Jimmy Carr presents it. Might be wrong. I don't know.
Haven't been there in a while.
Haven't watched any telly from there in a while.
That's not true.
It is actually. I haven't watched live TV.
Live TV, yes. Anyway, so that's what we're going to do. I want you guys to play along if you want.
Yeah, play along.
Obviously, we're not going to force you to.
As we sing this song.
But yeah, play along and let us know via social media of your choice which one you think is the lie of both mine and Dominic's 5 celebrities.
Yes.
Yeah. And then I guess we'll reveal it, I don't know, on the next podcast, probably at the start of the next podcast. Yeah, so you'll have to tune in to find out which one was the lie from this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, a little bit of fun, something different. We just thought it was just kind of an interesting conversation starter, actually.
Because we started talking about the celebrities we'd met in real life.
Yeah, so,
we met quite a few, because, we go to all these parties and everything. So, they're just hanging out, They're just there, and it's just like, oh, hey, Dominic and Erica.
No,
the party started, you're here.
Some people are super, into that, like celebrity chasing and celebrity spotting.
Yeah. Celebrity stalking, not like paparazzi kind of thing.
And not like creepy, like dangerous stalking.
They're into like, oh, so-and-so who was in an episode of Minder.
It's almost like celebrity bingo, isn't it? It's just like, oh, mark them off your bingo card.
And it is, and we've got a few of them. Well, we've come into contact with a few of them. On Facebook or wherever else, and it's just like, oh, I went and saw so-and-so, and I went and saw this, and it's just like, what, is it your mission to meet every famous person in the world, or who was in from the past 50 or 60 years, know?
To be honest, there's very few celebrities that I care anything about meeting.
Well, any like reality, people go, there's a lot that I see a lot of it on Facebook, people who want to go and see reality TV stars, like the Housewives and The Bachelor and Love Island and all them type of people. It's just like those people are like Adam and Eve to me. Adam and
Eve.
I wouldn't know them from Adam or Eve. That it's just like the person who's
biblical, are they?
Well, yes. They're biblical to these people. They worship them like they're gods. Like, oh, Jax from Vanderpump Rules. He's my god. He's my guru.
Oh,
it's just like, really?
Bravo.
Really?
Bravo has their whole convention.
Bravo celebrities, they call them.
Yeah,
don't they?
but they have like a convention thing now for all their Bravo celebrities. You can meet the people from the boat show, the housewives,
Below Decks.
I
keep wanting to call it Lower Decks, but that's a Star Trek show. So
yeah,
below Deck is what it is.
But yeah, anyway, so we're not particularly celebrity hunters. There's
a couple that we, if they're in town, we'll go see.
Yeah, we'll go
hang out with them.
And yes, that was me smacking his bare arm.
Yes, I'm naked right now, folks.
TMI.
I've just got out of the shower.
Here I was recording a podcast.
And here I am. I just had to sit down, record a podcast. I didn't even throw any clothes on. That's dedication for ya.
It's not true.
I tell
it's
you.
all lies.
It's all lies. I've just got a tank top on. That's what it is.
It's still hot here in Texas,
Still hot here in Texas, and it will be for the next 5 months.
We could be naked, though. They really do not know. That's the joy of
the question is, do they even care? Do they even care that we're naked?
That's the benefit of this being a podcast and not a YouTube show. Okay, so do you want to start, or do you want me to? Or
yeah,
you
go ahead, because I'm always starting these things. I'm always going first. I'm going to go second. Okay. Because I've got to think about all the celebrities I've met, and pick the choicest ones,
Oh, God. Okay. So some of mine are going to be all right. So the first one on my list, and I'm sort of going in order of, when I met them, I guess.
Oh.
So, yeah. So the first one on my list, my first celebrity I ever met was Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons from Kiss.
From Kiss.
Yeah. Only he was not in makeup. Now, the backstory behind this is that my aunt in the late 80s, 1990s, somewhere around there, was dating Mark Slaughter of the band Slaughter. I don't know if
I've heard of Gene Simmons, but I'd never heard of Mark Slaughter until you told me.
So he's not one of my celebrities because I wasn't sure.
I mean,
I consulted my mom on this, you guys, and she says he was a celebrity because I think they did play on the American Music Awards or something, and I'm pretty sure he was on their band was on the Arsenio Hall show and stuff. So I guess they had a song on the radio.
Okay, well, let's put this at minor and major celebrities. I'd say Mark Slaughter was a minor one.
Yeah.
Gene Simmons, major.
Yeah. So Mark's not on my list. Gene is on my list. He was my first celebrity I ever met. We went to Oklahoma City to watch them open for Kiss. Slaughter open for Kiss. And it was Gene Simmons' birthday. And we were backstage, and they brought out this big chocolate birthday cake for him.
And you ate it all.
And there he is cutting the cake. And he asks me, would I like a slice of cake? And I was just like, nah, I don't like chocolate. And I remember my mom and my aunt were both like,
you just refused Gene Simmons.
Yes. Oh, don't tell Gene Simmons you don't want his birthday cake.
Don't tell Gene Simmons you don't want his birthday cake.
I was like, who the heck is Gene Simmons? This is a freaking guy with long hair here cutting a chocolate cake that I don't want.
I don't want any chocolate.
Yeah.
I don't want any chocolate. And what did he say?
I don't remember. That's
He probably just said...
I think he was just like, haha, okay,
He's like, oh, okay, more for me then.
I'm just some freaking kid.
Because I'm Gene Simmons.
He doesn't care. It's like I was a cute little girl, but, he didn't really care.
I didn't really care.
It's just like, yeah, do you want some cake? Okay, yeah, next. Who else wants some cake?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my Gene Simmons. I have a picture, actually, of me, I think that them, turning my face to the camera when I'm standing in front of Gene, and I think my mom probably, sneakily snapped it or something while he's cutting the cake.
This was before phones, so that was even... I think I've seen that photo, and the flash is on.
There was probably a flash.
So it's just like, it's if it was like a sneaky photo...
I'm sure other people in there were taking pictures. I really can't remember. I was pretty little.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll put
He wasn't in makeup, so he was just like, nobody recognizes me.
Yeah, he just looked like a guy.
I don't have my tongue out, so it's alright.
Yes, exactly. Maybe we'll put the picture with the blog that will go with this podcast, and then you'll see.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so that was my first one. I'll try to zip through these. Some of the other stories are not as interesting. My next celebrity was many, many years later. And it was Jerry Jones, the owner of the Dallas Cowboys football team. Jerry
Jones.
And that
no idea who he was, and to me, still,
he's
just a multi-millionaire to me.
Right? Yeah. I mean, I was not impressed. Again,
he didn't perform. He didn't ask you if you wanted chocolate cake or anything.
I just did not care about football, and pretty much still don't. So, we went to the Dallas Cowboys. Always had their training camp here in Austin. I think this was before we moved to Austin. And my stepdad was absolutely obsessed. He was then my mom's boyfriend at the time.
Yeah.
But I think he was already living here, and we had come down during the summer to visit him, or possibly it was the summer that we moved here. I don't really remember. But the Dallas Cowboys always had their training camp here in Austin, and, he was there, obviously. I don't know if he was there, surely he was not there for every practice or training or session or whatever.
Yeah, it was some sort of special event. Yeah. Maybe because he heard you were coming.
And it was free to go to. And so my stepdad was obsessed with, Texas Longhorns, Dallas Cowboys, football in general. And so we all went out there. And then afterwards, some of the players and stuff will come up. Not everybody, but some, just whoever wants to, will come up to the stands to whoever's there watching them
and say hey
and say shake hands, sign autographs, take a picture, whatever. And so I met him.
My local sporting hero.
Shook his hand, got his autograph. I have no idea where the autograph is now, but
Jerry
Jones, there you go.
We'll go for millions on eBay.
My next one is Harry Connick Jr. And basically, this is just a matter of me and my mom stalking him after his shows.
Not dangerously stalking him, you understand.
Not good-naturedly stalking.
Just hang out. Well, yeah, no, you hung out just by the stage door, right?
Just outside, yeah. A lot of fans
do that. We've done that.
After things. Yeah, we weren't following him anywhere. We didn't go to his hotel room or anything, It was just just after the show. And actually, we did this twice because I think I had found on some forum or something that he signs autographs after.
When he comes out, yeah.
Yeah, after the gig, he'll sign autographs, and we like his humor, we like his music, and, he's cute. So my mom and I both, and I think my grandma was with us one time too, just went and got his autograph, met him,
had a chat.
Yeah, I don't think we didn't take any pictures or anything of him.
Harry Connick Jr., he's well known. He's
very friendly, and apparently his hardcore fan base knows that that's a thing that he does.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty small group of people, and I just happened into that information. We're fans, but we've only probably seen him in concert twice, I think. So we're not super fans, I have no idea, really. I can't really remember how I found out that was a thing, because most of these people, they'll do the gig and then they leave. Off. Yeah. Elvis has left the building,
type things. Well, yeah, it's kind of like they leave, they go, okay, good night, everyone, and then they rush out. Okay, get out before everyone else gets out. You know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, my next celebrity. Actually, I got these two backwards. My next celebrity I saw before Harry Connick Jr. I met this one when I was in high school, and it is Steve Burton, which.
Yeah, Steve Burton.
I knew it.
Steve Burton, man.
Yeah.
How can you not know who Steve Burton is? He's bigger than God, isn't he, really, Steve Burton?
Some people might know. I got my best friend. I think it was like 14 maybe. So my mom dropped us off at the mall, and it was just like all these like, oh, we'll try some beauty on you. It was like a little bit of a mini convention type thing, you know. There were booths set up, and then he was there to like take pictures with all the silly teenage girls.
Yeah.
I barely knew who he was. Apparently, for anybody who is just completely lost and has no idea who Steve Burton is, he plays Jason Morgan on General Hospital. So he's a soap actor.
He's a soap actor.
Yeah.
As I said, bigger than God.
Yeah. Why he was there?
Well,
why
to
he
some
was,
people,
like,
he might be so. Steve Burton?
Oh,
what?
God,
Yes.
I think he's been on...
He's still on it?
Yeah.
Because it's still going, General Hospital.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I have never seen an episode. I don't think I've ever seen an episode.
I think I saw one when I first came over here.
This is a bit of a side note, a little bit of more of a backstory to this one. My aunt used to do some background acting in the 80s and very early 90s. And when she would go on set of these different shows, she would get me the main star's autograph if she could.
Oh, yeah.
And so I already had an autographed picture of him from like the 80s from some show he was in the 80s.
And you took that to read it?
No, that would have been funny. No, so
I've already signed this, sorry.
So I knew him from my To Erica picture, you know. Otherwise, I had absolutely no idea who this guy was, but that's who he was, Steve Burton.
Steve Burton, everyone.
Yeah, I have a picture with him as well.
Give a round for Steve Burton, everybody.
My last one is the most recent and the absolute most cool, and I probably am good on celebrities at this point. I do not need to meet another celebrity in my lifetime. And that is Sir Paul McCartney. I'll just be quiet for a moment to let that sink in.
I mean, it's a bit of a letdown after Steve bloody Burton, isn't it? Steve Burton, come on.
Leave Steve Burton alone. Jeez. You know, they do those, like, soap opera convention things, too, I think. I think they do them at, like, Disney World or something. Those people who attend
well, you can
those
meet
things,
Mickey Mouse at Disney World, and Steve Burton's got nothing on Mickey Mouse.
They would have killed to take a picture with Steve Burton in
Mickey Mouse wants his autograph.
Anyway, yeah, Paul McCartney.
Yes, Paul McCartney. Tell the story.
Nah, that story's way too long.
I think we've told it.
No, I'll have to do a story time with that one. I'll just take up the whole rest of the podcast.
She met Paul McCartney.
I met Paul McCartney.
And New York City, 2004.
At Virgin Megastore.
Or 6,
I slept for a night and a half in Times Square on the street. Everybody asking me what I was in line for. I was not the only one there.
What are you in line for? And you said Paul McCartney, and you were like, oh, I was hoping you would say Steve Burton.
I was hoping it was Steve Burton.
Steve Burton. I only get in a line for Steve Burton.
But yeah, that was my last one. That was my happy.
Well,
my happy one. I don't know what I was. What I was going for there.
Paul McCartney.
Yeah. Okay, let's do you.
Well, mine. I had to think. And my first one, I didn't really do them in order of meeting.
You could.
Well, I guess I'll start with the order of meeting. Col Meany. Oh, no. Michael Barrymore.
Oh, you just ruined it.
Michael Barrymore. I'll get to Col Meany in a minute, don't worry. He was my next one. Michael Barrymore, I met. Now,
Michael Barrymore, the Steve Burton of Britain.
Not really. He's much more outrageous than Steve Burton in Britain. Poor Michael Barrymore. I was obsessed with his show Strike It Lucky as a kid. I was like obsessed with him. And I was like 4 or 5. And British people my age will know who Michael Barrymore is. He presented this show called Strike It Lucky. It was this game show, and I used to love it. He used to come out in his like tuxedo and do it, and he'd be like, "Oh, what?" And he was like from Bermondsey, and he was like a Londoner, and he'd make fun of he was a comedian, he was a stand-up thing, and he was just... So he did this like stand-up show in Torquay where I lived, and my parents were like, well, we're taking Dominic to see him because and so we got in the theater, and I was just excited to see Michael Barrymore live, just like doing his thing, and someone from the thing goes, do you want to go on stage? She came to the thing, she goes, do you want to go on stage? And I was like, what do you mean, do I want to go on stage? And she goes, well, and then they explained to my parents, we're getting kids from the audience up. It's a new thing Michael's doing, and he's just going to interview the kids, and what kids say the funniest things. Basically, it was like the genesis of that. And I was like, okay, and my mother was like, you're going on that stage. I was like, okay, I'm going on the stage. So the kids went up, and I remember being really bright. It was my first time on like an actual stage at Princess. So I've been on stage at the Princess Theatre in Torquay. I was just like, it was really light, and I was just remember doing that all the time because I couldn't see anything out there. I was like, it's just like looking.
How old were you?
I was about 5.
Oh my God.
It was about 1991.
And you just went with some stranger, led you up.
No, they took me to it, and there was all these other kids. There was about 3 or 4 kids. My parents have a picture of it somewhere. My dad does, and I don't know where it is now. I'll have to find it, but I don't have it. He's got it somewhere. It's in storage or something. And I just remember thinking, I wasn't really nervous or anything. I was just like, this is right. I'm just looking at it was with a bunch of kids. I was just like, So, and Michael was like, what's your name? What do you do? What do you do?
What do you do?
Just like he was just doing his bit. With them, and, kids saying funny things.
Yeah.
Got to me, and he goes, what's your name? Dominic. How old are you, Dominic? 5. And he's like, what I can't remember what do you like to do? It's like, why are you here? Whatever, Yeah. But the standout was, what does your dad do? Oh, he's a painter. My dad was not a painter. My dad was, and he paints and he said, what does he paint? He's like, he paints the house. When my dad was a merchant seaman, or he was dredging at the time. He was on ships 3 weeks on, and every time he'd come home, all I'd see him doing was odd jobs around the house, painting the house. So that's what I thought he did. So I was like, he paints the house, and everyone's like, oh, okay, he paints the house. What does your mother do? Drinks wine with Carol. Drinks wine with her friend Carol. That got the biggest belly laugh of the whole thing. The whole place erupted. Even he cracked up. I remember that. Because I remember seeing him, like, he was sweating from the thing, and he was like, bent down here. He's like, what? Drinks wine. So, yeah, she drinks wine with Carol. I just said, drinks wine with Carol. Yeah. And, it's like my mother ran the bed and breakfast, but she drank wine with Carol. And, I totally embarrassed her, poor thing.
Oh, my God.
But it's like, it's like when I was probably the biggest laugh at her, because all of the others, I'm sure a couple of the others said embarrassing things about their parents and stuff like that. But, I remember years later, I spoke to him on Twitter.
Yeah.
I reconnected with him on Twitter. I said, you probably won't remember, but I was part of your stage show in Torquay in 1991. And he was like, oh, no, I don't. But it's a great memory. Thanks for telling me about it and stuff. And, I was like, I want to know if that was like the genesis. He goes, yeah, that was the kind of genesis for Kids Say the Funniest Things, because he had a show then a couple of years later about it,
Oh, yeah.
And he had his own like talk show
funny.
And stuff, yeah. And I was just like, yeah, God, I remember that. Yeah. So, yeah, Michael Barron was my first one. Drinks wine with Carol. I don't know. Then it was Col Meany.
Oh, yeah.
I met him, and he's an actor. He's an Irish actor. He's known for Star Trek. He's been in
a lot.
He's
lately.
been in a lot. Well, he's been in a lot over his career. He's one of those character actors, but everybody knows him from playing Chief O'Brien on The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine.
Yeah.
But he's been in a lot of stuff. I mean, he was in the Alan Partridge film. He's Layer Cake with Daniel Craig. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's one of those actors that you don't normally kind of. Only Star Trek fans will associate him with Star Trek.
What am I thinking of? Or was it a Star Trek episode actually, where he's got like an eye patch on? He's in something where he's wearing an eye patch.
It was a Star Trek.
That was
episode.
Star Trek. Okay.
Yeah, it was.
But
I know what episode that was. It was Armand Bashir For all you Star Trek heads out there.
But he's definitely been in other things.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's been in a lot of stuff. Yeah. I mean, that's just he's
the Alan Partridge film.
Oh yeah, he's brilliant. I mean, it was a meet and greet at a convention in London. So
Dominic's a big Star Trek nerd.
Yes. In case you haven't noticed that about me on Twitter and Instagram and stuff. So me and my friend were in line to meet him. And that's what it was. We got our photo with him.
Yeah, that's so cool.
I don't know if I have. I think my friend has it. The photo we took with him, and it was just like, great to meet you. I loved you on Star Trek.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because me and my friend were like, well, yeah, we're probably the most like normal of the fans in line, because there was one guy.
You didn't come in costumes.
Because there's one guy, there's some guy in the front of the line asking him about an episode. It's like, oh, how did it feel in Visionary when you were going back and forth through time, and he was saying it seriously to him, and we were just like looking at each other like, oh my God, what is going on? And it's just like, oh, when you were going back and forth through time, he was like, haha, yeah, it was, I felt, yeah, good, yeah, he was just kind of like, like, oh yeah, and they all those actors get those kind of questions from the rabid fans, like, what does it feel like to be beamed? What does it feel like to be in space? Oh, what did it feel like to be assimilated? Yeah. And yeah. So yeah, that was me meeting him. He was great.
Yeah.
The next one, is speaking of Star Trek, is Patrick Stewart.
Oh yeah.
Patrick Stewart. Yeah.
I was with you for this one.
You were with me for that one. I said, thanks for coming to him. And he said, yeah. He said, yeah.
He looked at you.
He looked at me because he thought I was a nutcase. I could tell he thought I was a nutcase. When because he was leaving his signing booth, and I know.
I swear you patted him. You patted him on
I
the back.
did not.
You did
I did not touch that man.
Oh my God, his eyes. You guys, I wish you could see his eyes.
I did not touch a knight of the realm without his invitation.
I swear I remember you patting him on the back.
No, I would love to have shared. I did. I think I did stick out my hand to get, but I got nah, he's not going to shake my hand. Because I can remember he was leaving, he put his hat on, and he was just kind of leaving, and there was kind of security people around him as he was leaving, but I just went, thanks for coming, and he just went, yeah. Yeah. He'd obviously met me before, obviously. He was like, oh, yeah, you again, yeah. But, there was people, the whole cast of The Next Generation were there that day. I mean, I had the whole freaking Enterprise crew there to talk to, but, it's like, he was the captain, and Jonathan Frakes, and everybody was there. Will Wheaton.
Yeah.
LeVar Burton, too.
Oh.
Yes.
We saw him talk.
And Brent Spiner, and Brent Spiner was over there. Michael Dorn waved at you, didn't he?
Yeah.
Who plays Worf. Brent Spiner left kind of early, and I remember someone screaming at him, "Thanks for coming, Mr. Spiner, thank you!" And he was like, "Yeah, thanks, it's okay, and he just walked off backstage and whatever, Jonathan Frakes smiled at us as he passed. He was like, he just gave us a thing because we were in a group. Marina Sirtis smiled at us, and I remember two of the guys in front of us was just like, oh, she just looked at us. As she passed,
that was obviously a very cool one though, because Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart,
awesome.
Knight of the Realm.
Yeah,
brilliant guy all around. The next one, the Plain White Tees.
Yeah, just the whole band.
The whole band. You might know them from Hey There, Delilah.
Yeah, you might know that little song they play on the radio every 5 seconds.
Hey, and there's another couple of hits they've had as well. They've had a couple of hits, yeah.
I can't think of them.
I can't
That's
remember
the big one, yeah.
The big one is Hey There, Delilah, which they played for us. We got treated to that. And then we went on it was like a radio event thing. Because there was a DJ there who was all over them. And it was just kind of okay, it was a bit awkward.
Yeah, the boat ride was totally awkward.
The boat ride was awkward because the DJ made it awkward because she was ingratiating herself. And I'm just like, you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
You're acting like a smarmy fan.
Yeah.
You're all over them.
Oh, she was way worse than any of the people there.
Yeah, because we all of the rest of us were just kind of standing there with our drinks or whatever, just going, yeah, okay.
Just like enjoying the boat ride.
Tom, his name is.
I think so. Yeah.
Leader. He went off on his own because I could tell he was just like, oh, I'm not into this. This is a bit weird. And it's just like, they were perfectly, nice. They were, down to earth and everything.
Yeah.
They wouldn't like.
I think we got pictures of them.
Yeah, we got pictures of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. My last one, actually, it's someone I met in between Michael Barrymore and Colm Meaney.
Oh, yeah.
Ronnie Wood.
Yeah.
I met Ronnie Wood.
Yeah.
In the Star Hotel. The Stones were doing a gig in Cardiff or something, and he got lost. Or something. He got lost and he says, oh, I don't have any money. Have you got any money?
Oh my God, he got lost.
He got lost and he comes in and he's like, oh,
So we hope you guys enjoyed that. Let us know which one of our celebrities each you think the lie was. So who was I lying about? Who was Dominic lying about?
You're obviously lying about Steve Burton.
Let us know on
because nobody has met Steve Burton and lived to tell the tale.
Shut up. Let us know on social media who you think the lie was. So we'll call this 4 truths and a lie.
Oh yeah, did I do 5? Yeah.
It
was hard to pick.
But anyway, yeah. So thank you for tuning in. As always, we appreciate your support so much, and we will talk to you next time.
Yes, thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.